Now, for the first time in its 38-year history, the Glastonbury Festival has been headlined by a hip-hop artist. New York's Jay-Zed topped the bill, despite objections from some quarters. Before that, Amy Winehouse overcame recent problems to perform an hour-long set. But an incident with one reveller did, well, kind of mar her comeback, or at least ensure it was in the headlines, as John Kay, no doubt, will tell us live now from Glastonbury. John.
Nick, that message on the ice cream van here outside the Pyramid stage kind of says it all really for this Sunday afternoon. Chill out. And that's the kind of message and the sense you get this afternoon. It's the day after the night before, I think you can safely say. Yes, Jay-Z performed last night, the king of bling, rapper. The first time a rapper has headlined here, that created all sorts of fuss. And then, of course, there was the Amy Winehouse moment, which we'll talk about and show you in a minute. But for the moment, we've just had quite a leisurely day. We've just had folk star Gilbert O'Sullivan on the main Pyramid stage. A bit later, Leonard Cohen and Neil Diamond, as well as the Verve. So a very eclectic day once again at Glastonbury, and this year it's music instead of mud that people are talking about. That's the view from the BBC News helicopter up above. As you can see, a packed 1,000-acre site, 170,000 people here today. That's 140,000 who've paid, and another 30,000 or so who've decided to come and work here. But let's show you that footage that everyone's been talking about here of Amy Winehouse last night. She was coming towards the end of her session. She was performing her greatest hit, Rehab, and decided to go right up close with the audience. She left the stage, and there was some kind of altercation with somebody there in the front row. According to Michael Eavis, somebody grabbed her breasts and she retaliated. She lashed out at them. He said he couldn't blame her for that. He said he completely understood why she'd done it. Afterwards, she told him that she wanted to play again next year, and then she wanted to be the headline act. So Amy Winehouse, never out of the headlines, and even though she wasn't the headline act last night, she's certainly making the headlines here again today. Let's have a chat with some people who are enjoying this afternoon, enjoying Sunday at Glastonbury. Let me ask you guys about Amy Winehouse to start with. You were in the audience.
Absolutely. Apparently somebody grabbed her, so I don't blame her for smacking them. I think I'd have done the same thing. You know, if somebody's being violent towards her. She took a lot of grief from the crowd last night, I thought, and it's not right, is it? It's not fair.
She mentioned her husband in jail a few times and got a bit of booing for that, didn't she?
She did. I mean, you know, it's not for me to comment, is it? You know, whether he should be in there or not, but she did take a lot of abuse last night. As soon as she's only just got out of hospital and she's poorly, I just thought it was a bit unfair, really. Yeah.
Let me ask you guys as well, because you were in two minds about whether to come this year, yeah?
Yes. Yeah, we weren't sure. Because of last year, the mud was so bad, and we were struggling a little bit, thinking, well, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can live through the experience. But last minute, you've got to come. You get that feeling in your stomach, and you think, I've got to be here. I don't care what the weather is. It's a great time any time.
You're telling me you've been looking on YouTube at footage from last year, just to remind yourselves how bad it was, to test yourself.
Yes, and we saw you, I'm afraid.
Saw us in the mud last year.
You in the mud last year. Everybody should YouTube you. You looked fantastic.
So you decided, why did you decide that you'd come back? I'd have thought looking at the mud last year would put you off.
No, because there's nothing like the atmosphere here. You can't, it's not like sitting at home watching television. It doesn't get the atmosphere at all. You've got to be here to experience it. Mud, rain, whatever, it's all a good time.
And when you see the mud in the videos, you see the people having fun, relaxing, and you just think, I've got to be there doing that with them.
I get the sense you guys are a bit disappointed there's no mud.
It's kind of overinflated, all this muddy Glastonbury. We have nice Glastonburys, which is proven this year. It's perfect festival weather, bit overcast. Sorry, I've got festival throat.
So have I. Don't worry, let's save our voices. Thanks, have a good afternoon, enjoy it. There's lots more still to come. Some of these people have been here for 5 days now, and there's still music yet to come tonight. Finishes just after midnight. Nick.
Thank you, John. I'm very interested to hear that they loved you being in the mud, and I do apologise to all viewers for calling him Jay-Zed. I knew I'd do that. Jay-Z, of course, he's called, isn't he? Thank you, Mr. K.
Thank you.
Right, OK. Having got that sorted out, let's have a look at the time. It's coming up to 10 to 2. Let's have a look at the headlines.